I'm Ethan.
And I'm Allie.
And welcome to A&E News.
Rosa Parks, an African-American native from Tuskegee, Alabama, was arrested last Thursday, December 1st, for refusing to give up her seat to a white male on a Montgomery City bus.
Parks' refusal sparked the civil rights movement, petitioning the end to racial segregation.
Parks was born on February 4th, 1913.
Both of Parks' grandparents were former slaves and strong advocates for racial equality.
As a young child, she attended a segregated one-room school in Pine Level, Alabama.
As an African American, Parks was forced to walk to the schoolhouse, while Pine Level provided transportation and a new school building for the white students.
In 1929, she left school to tend to her sick grandma, and she never came back.
Then, she worked as a shirt factory employee. She married Raymond Parks in 1932.
Her bravery led to nationwide efforts to end racial segregation. She was then awarded the MLK Jr. Award by the NAACP.
Oh, and hold on. Oh, we're getting breaking news on the polio vaccine. Out to you, Owen. Breaking news on the polio vaccine. The first successful trial of the vaccine was tested on 200 children, and Jonas Salk, the doctor who developed the vaccine in Berkeley, California, in the Cutter Laboratories. It was given as a shot in either leg or arm, depending on the patient's age. The result of the test, that the vaccine was 85 to 90% effective on patients that were given the vaccine. This could help us treat 58,000 cases of the virus right now. The vaccine was just taken to the Belgian Congo in the Soviet Union to get more results to further our understanding of the disease and the vaccine. It is possible for us to do these clinical trials now because of the height of the Cold War. The fear of polio is stronger than most political differences. More updates to come later on. Back to you in the studio. Welcome back to A&E News. 10 Hollywood celebrities are believed as being communists.
Yesterday, October of 1947, 10 celebrities, including film directors, producers, and screenwriters, were accused of being communists.
The list of Hollywood stars included Elva Bessie, Herbert Biberman, Lester Cole, and many more.
These celebrities were accused with little evidence present, and a few celebrities even ended up in jail.
Many more celebrities, other than the ones on the Hollywood 10 list, were involved in this conflict.
And many of these celebrities are currently unemployed and will be until further notice.
More information soon to come. Oh, we're getting breaking news. We'll send it out to you in the field, Jimmy.
For our next story, we'll be taking a look into the boom of consumerism and the large corporations that blossomed during the 1950s. After wartime productions during World War II pulled America out of our Great Depression and revived our economy, people had money to spend and they were willing to do so. This led to the creation of many large corporations that are still household names to this day. These include Dunkin' Donuts, Sonic Drive-In, Denny's, and the Holiday Inn hotel chains. This boom in consumer spending also led to the boom in the amount of advertising that companies would pay for. They did this through commercials, which were just starting to become a commodity because the television industry had just started up during this time. So now let's take a quick look at some of these commercials that influenced the purchases of consumers at our time.
The 1950s, a period of massive economic expansion in the U.S. leading to the development and growth of corporations and small businesses. Tired of running out of household items and food? Constantly sick and tired of traveling long distances to acquire basic items? Worry no longer. Marcus & Company supermarkets have now been established everywhere. Obtain your basic needs quickly without a hassle. Simple household items easily acquired at a walking distance. Nearby bus stops will transport you directly to any Marcus & Company. Fruits and vegetables, Wheaties, cleaning products, and much more. Come to your local supermarket today.
Do you and your family like to go on vacation? Because I know that I do. And if you do, then you're in luck, because our new Holiday Inn hotels are popping up all across the United States of America, and we have the lowest room rates available. All you need to do is call one of our 125 properties and tell them what room you want to book and for the nights that you want, It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Now come on down and stay at a Holiday Inn, and when you get there, don't forget to ask about our loyalty program. We get you every 14th night free. Hello, and welcome back to A&E News Hour. My name's Jimmy, and for our next story, we will be talking about President Franklin Delano Roosevelt and his support for our returning veterans. Now that we are nearing the end of World War II, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt knew that he had to find a way to support all of the troops that fought for our country during this time. So a bill was created. This bill was called the GI Bill, and it was created to help supply basic necessities to all of our veterans from World War II. This bill has already done many great things since being signed in. Some of these are establishing hospitals, making low-interest mortgages available, helping with college tuition, and granting student loans that would cover anything else that students may need, such as trade schools. This bill was signed into law on June 22nd of 1944 by now our former president, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And since then, over 9 million veterans have taken advantage of the law's unemployment compensation program, which has provided close to $4 billion worth of $20 a week unemployment benefits to our veterans that were looking for work. This bill also created an expanded middle class and helped not only veterans that were in the war. Medical care was also provided for these veterans. Now this might seem very glorious, but it did not help all of our veterans, because it did not cater to many African American or women who fought and helped our country during the war effort. These people struggled to receive higher education loans, and even if they did, African Americans were not allowed into colleges because the colleges were still segregated. To pile on top of that, many banks also refused money to African Americans. That's all we have. Now back to you in the studio.
Hello, and welcome back to the studio. For our final story, we will be talking about a large problem that is currently facing our armed forces, and that is the segregation of white and African American soldiers.
In the year 1940, the U.S. population was 131 million. 12.6 million of them were African Americans, and that was 10% of our population.
During World War II, the U.S. Army was the nation's largest minority employer, with 2.5 million African Americans registered for the draft. Over 1 million were inducted into the armed forces, but had to fight in segregated regiments.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt, our president during World War II, responded swiftly, but the problem of segregation was not ended until President Harry S. Truman signed the Executive Order 9981. This order was signed into law on July 26, 1948, and created big change in the armed forces.
Although the armed forces were desegregated and the GI Bill had been helping our World War II veterans for years, it still did not do much to help the African American warriors that were returning home from the war and were trying to assimilate into the new country, which made their transition much harder.
This is all we have for today. See you all again tomorrow. Same time, same place.
Have a great afternoon.